Hey guys, it's Brooke with You Make My Heart Sing Designs. I'm here today to show you how to make a DecoMesh wreath on two different wreath form bases. You have your standard work form wreath base. This I found at a local craft store. They have them all the time. This one said that it was 16 inches. I order them online sometimes too, and I always order 15 inches to 24 inches. So it says 15/24. And so if you do get them online, that's what you look for. Or at the local craft store today, it said 16 inches. Now my favorite work form to use is an Evergreen Christmas wreath. I love how full it is. I love to use them for Christmas wreaths because the pine can show through and that just adds to the wreath. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna set this aside. With this wreath, I've already kind of started, but before you even start putting the DecoMesh in, you want to fluff it out as much as possible. Just kind of touching all of the pine stems, getting it good and fluffed out. Guys, when y'all do this, it gets a little messy. That's okay, we'll vacuum later. Today I'm not going to finish the whole wreath. I'm just going to kind of get you started, just so you know how to attach the DecoMesh and how to attach the ribbons. I had a really sweet lady send me a message today asking if I could maybe give her detailed messages on how to make a DecoMesh wreath. I took today off of work to clean up my supplies and clean up our house to start getting Christmas in. I know it's early, it's Halloween, but it's gonna be busy season for me soon, so I would like to kind of get that started. When I got her message, I was like, you know what? I think that making a tutorial would be a lot more fun than cleaning the house, but we have to kind of keep that quiet because my husband thinks I'm cleaning. I guess when he gets home, he might realize I haven't been doing that. Okay, so I have this fluffed out. I can always go back and do more. But I'm going to bring it down on my table. My first step that I do is I add the DecoMesh in the poof method. I do not measure, I just kind of eyeball it because you're going to be putting so much stuff on top of it, it really doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to start with this red. I always use 10-inch DecoMesh. I just like to use it, to me it's easier to handle than the 21-inch. 21-inch for me is too big. So what I do is I take the DecoMesh and I fold it in half at the top. And then I just kind of pinch the ends together. So then that way you don't have a raw edge and it doesn't fray. So I go ahead, let me see how it is on the camera. I always start on the inside of the wreath. So this little piece here goes on the inside. Then you just use the existing pine and you just tie it. I don't tie it really tight right now because I'm going to be going back through and adding more DecoMesh, and I'll be adding more ribbon as well. So I just take that, and sometimes I just drop this on the floor too. Usually I do that on the outside. What I do is I take a pretty good amount, get a good loop. Let's just go ahead and just kind of measure a little bit. So I'm saying it's going to be right there. About 10 inches if you do want to measure, and you place it back into your wreath using the pines to secure it. You can always go back and fluff it out. Again, you're just going to keep doing it through the whole inside of your wreath. I kind of try to do this pretty quickly since I have another one I would like to show you. Fluff it. You don't have to secure them too tight yet because you're going to be going back in. I don't like to put my DecoMesh ruffles, I'll show you that in a minute, on top of I like to open each one of them up when I put the rest of the DecoMesh and the ribbons in. So that's why I say you don't have to make it real tight. With these, you just, like I said, eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna have so much stuff. That one is a little bit big, so. You're gonna have so much stuff in it, you don't have to be precise. So I'm gonna make this my last one for the inside of the wreath. Now see, that one to me is too small. See, you can barely even see it. I'm gonna kind of fluff that out a little bit more, make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Now what I do is I just go from the inside of the wreath, I just come out to the outside ring. So you have an inside ring and you have an outside ring. Doing it again, just making a poof using the pine to secure. There we go. Whoops, did not do that one tight enough actually. So today in Kentucky, woke up to 60 degrees, and now, I don't know the exact temperature, but right now it feels like winter. We're supposed to get down into the 30s. I don't know how all of those kids are gonna be trick-or-treating in this weather. Okay. In our neighborhood, we don't have, or where we live, we do not have, we've never had in 6 years a trick-or-treater, so we don't even turn off our lights or anything. Just we don't have them. Okay. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm still fluffing, even though I've already fluffed it out. You can still fluff as you go. We're getting there. That one's kind of small too. That one's a little wild. Let's kind of fix that up a little bit. Well, my roll fell on the floor. There we go. I think we just have 2 more to go. Like I said, this is just eyeballing at this point. I think that's one reason why I love using the Evergreen. You don't have to have it just absolutely perfect. I actually had 3 more to go. Okay, so hold on 1 second. There we go. So then what I do at the end, when you're finished with your poofs, I just take my scissors and I just cut it off. I know that there is a raw edge there, but let me put this over here. When you're done, you're not going to be able to see it. And sometimes I kind of tuck it underneath another poof so you don't see it and won't fray. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my easel. I put a hanger on this one just so it hung down a little bit lower on my easel so I can get to it a little bit better. But normally for these wreaths, the rings on the back It can just hang on your door hanger. You don't have to have a pipe cleaner or a wire or anything like that. I just like to work with my wreath bases a little bit lower, kind of eye level, so I can see what I'm doing. So you can see there, I have poofs on the outside ring and I have poofs on the inside ring. They do not have to be exact. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is use a different kind of mesh, also 10-inch. I've already cut, to save time, I've already cut up some. So I'm using this buffalo checkered plaid, red and black. I cut them in 12 to 13 inch lengths. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you that now. I have my cutting frame that's covered in Evergreen. I have my cutting mat, and then I also have my rotary cutters. You've got to be careful with these. I'm telling you what, they are so sharp. I cannot tell you how many times I've cut myself, barely even touching my fingers. So I go all the way to the end of my mat, my measurement, and I go to 12 to 13. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those. That's how easy it is. Let's do another one. There we go. And honestly, these don't have to be exactly either. They don't have to be totally precise. So I showed you that. And I might have to do more. We'll just kind of see. But like I said, I'm not going to finish this whole thing. What I'm going to do is come back after I finish it and show you how I will add. This one has a sign that I'm going to be putting on, how I'm going to add the sign, the greenery, the berries, or whatever else it is that I'm going to do. I'm going to do that on another video because these can kind of take a little while, take kind of a long time. So I kind of straighten them out a little bit. I go to the middle, which this one's really easy because I have a middle ribbon right there. And I just crunch it up like this, or it's called a ruffle. You ruffle it up like this. So it's like a little bow tie. And what I do is I go back into each one that I've put, like each one of the, where I secure where I secure a poof. That's where I go in and I put my ruffle. And I open it up too, like I was telling you, I don't want to put it on top. I want to open up my greenery and put the ruffle in and then tie it back a little bit. But I'm going to be going back in it so you don't have to make it really tight right now. Let's go ahead and do a couple more of those. I actually like to do, I know this sounds nuts, why don't I go ahead and just cut 24 inches, ruffle it, and put it in. I like the dimension. I like the depth of the wreath. I like it to be big. These, if I'm going to make a DecoMesh wreath, I want it to be big and full. So I like the dimension and the depth of it when I do two 12-inch ruffles and I put them on top of each other. So I'm going to go back in that same one, opening up the greenery, opening that up, putting it in, and tying it just a little bit just so your ruffles don't come apart. Let's do a couple of more of those, and then I'm going to show you how to add the ribbon to it. So again, you take your 12 to 13 inch piece of DecoMesh, you ruffle it. So I go straight in the middle. I just kind of, with my fingers, ruffle it up, making it kind of like a bow tie. I go to my next one, which is right here, and I open up the greenery and I put my ruffle in. Secure it a little bit. I'm going to do another one for that. Right in the middle, just take my fingers, pinching the middle, have my little bow tie, and putting it on top of this one. There we go. I'll do a couple more. bow tie. So you do this all the way around, your inside ring and your outside ring. Bow tie. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple up here so you can just kind of see how big it gets. I mean, it makes it really good and full. So you start out, this is, oh, I should have told you that. This is a 24-inch evergreen base. And once you're done, I'm telling you what, guys, it's like a 30-inch. I'll go ahead and show you that just so you can see how really good and full it gets. Sorry, I'm stepping in front of you. So again, you want to go in between your poofs where you have secured it, open it up, place it, close it up just a little bit, and then you can kind of work with it. There we go. Let's do another one. Going back in that same spot. Opening up, maybe. There we go. And placing your ruffle in there. So see how pretty and how full that is after you add both of them? Okay, so now what I'm going to show you are some ribbons that I'm going to be adding. So for this wreath, she wanted burlappy colors. She also wanted the black and white. I don't have a bunch of this, but I'm going to go ahead and add it just throughout. Probably just the outer ring. I have 5, so I'll probably maybe go like every other one with this one. So what I do with my ribbon is I cut these also 12 inches. I do it on my cutting board. And then I dovetail them. I have shown you this on my other 2 videos. You take your ribbon, you fold it to the wired edge, and then you cut up at an angle. So it just gives you a nice finished edge. Again, fold it, wired edges together. You start here and you cut at an angle up. I've already cut some, just to, like I said, not to take a whole lot of time. I've already cut some. Oh, and here's another tip. I just learned this recently. I've been doing this, well, only for about 2 years. But I watch a lot of wreath makers, and I just learned this the other day. I wish I could remember who it was that taught me this. I got a piece of cardboard. I measured it 12 inches. And there are products out there that you can buy to do this. But I haven't had a chance. I really don't know who's selling it. I need to Google it, or you can Google it. But just as a beginner, this is a good way to do it. So you just take your ribbon and you kind of fold it over top, and then you start folding it over. So like right now, I already have 4 ribbon tails that I can take off. Cut at the bottom, and then up here I can cut up here, and cut here. There we go. And then all you have to do is dovetail them and put them in your wreath. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and place my ribbon. a lot of people that I watch, they do it like this and then put it in. I don't. I do it my way. I put them like this. I place them like this. Oh, I haven't dovetailed these. So, I'm going to actually put this one on the bottom. I'm going to place this one here. And I'm going to put this one here. I pinch it in half. And then what I do is I go over here and I open up where I've already put the DecoMesh, the buffalo check DecoMesh, and I place it right on top, securing it now tightly. So there you see how easy that is. So all you have to do is get your evergreen base. You put your DecoMesh in, your 10-inch DecoMesh, this one. You do your poof method, just eyeball it all the way around, about 10 inches each, like 10-inch poofs. And then you take your ruffles, you cut those 12 inches, you just ruffle them up, you put them in each one of the, in between each one of the loops, and then you take your ribbon, cut each one of them 12 inches, and you put them together and put them in each one of the each one of the loops as well. Then at that point you can secure it. I love seeing the greenery that's left right there that you can kind of see. I think that you need to leave that. On this wreath, I try to hide it or cut it off or hide it underneath the ribbon. But with this, you can just leave it because it's a Christmas wreath. I mean, that's Christmas. So anyway, well, I'm going to stop right now on this, and then I'm going to come back in a little bit and I'm going to show you the other wreath, how to do that, how to work on that one. I apologize. While I was cutting, I got something in my eye, so I'm going to go take care of that, and I will be back in a little bit. Thank you. Hey guys, this is part 2. I am sorry. I got something caught in my eye. I was cutting a ribbon and it just flew up in my eye, and so I just had to stop. So I apologize. Here is, I'm going to do a couple more on this that I was starting with. So I showed you how to do the DecoMesh on the inside ring, the outside ring of this evergreen base. I showed you how to do some of the ruffles and how to put them in between each of the poofs. And I showed you how to cut them, the ribbons. Those are 12 inches each, and then I dovetail them. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more to show you. Like I told you before, I had to go downstairs and get the ribbon out of my eye. I have only a couple of these, so I'm just going to do these like every other one or so. So I'm going to take my black and white ribbon. I'm going to take my burlap. It's not really burlap, it's kind of like a burlap look. And then I'm going to take another black and white ribbon, and I place them like this. You can put them like this, fold them in half and put them in if you want, but I like to go ahead and just kind of fan them out. And then that way they're already kind of ready for you when you put them into your wreath. I kind of eyeball it, and then I pinch it in the middle. I go in between into one of my ruffles. I open up the pieces of greenery and I place them in there. Then at this point you can secure your greenery. You don't have to worry about cutting them off or hiding them or anything, because like I said, it's a Christmas wreath. So you kind of like to show that. And then you just kind of place them. Of course, we're going to be putting more stuff in this, more ingredients I should say, into this. So I will refluff after I have everything else in it in the sign. So they're going to get kind of smushed up a little bit, but I'll go back and fix them at the end. I will do one more, and then I'm going to get started on the other wreath that I was showing you, the other wreath base. So this one I'm going to go ahead and do a red and black. I'm going to take my burlap looking, and I'm gonna take my white and black. Fan them out a little bit. Eyeball it, find your middle, pinch it. I don't like that. So you can just kind of move it how you want to. Pinch it in the middle. Come over to your ruffle. Open up your greenery. And now you can secure it. There we go. So that is how you can do a DecoMesh wreath on an evergreen Christmas base. Like I said, it's my favorite once it's done and I have the sign on and I'm putting in all of my greenery and my berries. I'm not putting any ornaments on this one, but it just really holds that greenery, really your hot glue and stems and everything that you put in there, it just really makes for a really good base and a sturdy base, and it's great for, you know, the weather and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off of the easel. I'm gonna get your standard. This is really what most people use for their DecoMesh wreaths. I go ahead and I lay it down. I have all of these that I cut up before. Get those out of the way. I go ahead and get this, and I get all of your ties that are already in there. And like I said, this is from a local craft store, but I've ordered these a lot online. Online, they say they're a 15 to a 24-inch wreath base or work form. But where I got it from today, it just said 16 inches. So I just kind of go through and pull all of, like I said, with these, I usually don't do this, but for my easel today and to show you, and I liked it for it to be more eye level, I did put a hanger on it, but you do not have to, because this is enough just to put on your over the door hanger. Okay, so I just kind of get those fluffed up and ready to go for when I get, there we are. So for this wreath, I'm going to be starting with a white, let me get my ribbons out of the way. I'm going to be starting with a white DecoMesh. Again, I like to use 10 inches. 21 inches for me is just, I don't know, I just feel uncomfortable with it, or it's too big for me. So I like to use 10-inch DecoMesh. And to start, I like to take it and fold it over a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. And then I fold it like that. And then that way it's not, the frayed ends aren't sticking out and it won't get caught on things. And that's how, this one I am going to put on the floor. So I'm just going to put it on the floor, and I always start in the inside ring. You just twist it a little bit just to hold it, but I don't I don't twist them tight, just because I'm going to go back in several times into each single tie to add more DecoMesh and to add ribbon. I still eyeball about 10 inch poofs, and then I secure it like that. I feel like with this work form, if you do the poofs before, the ruffles, I feel like it kind of hides the ring. It gives you more layers so you can't see the rings once you hang it up on your door, because you don't want to see that. You want it to be good and full. And some are going to be bigger than others, but it's okay. Like I said before in my other video, that it's going to all get hidden with ribbon, a sign. And you can always go back through and fluff them out a little bit. And that's what I always do, fluff them out. Now we are at the beginning. I do on these work forms, go ahead and open it up, and I put a poof in that as well. Just kind of fluff it out. You can put your folded end, the start, underneath that. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start on the outside ring. And then you can always go back through, fluff them out. Oops, that one came undone. I didn't secure it enough. And when I make my poofs, I just kind of take the ends and I kind of curl them under. Don't always stay that way, but I kind of curl them under a little bit so they're not curling up. Kind of curl into the wreath. Okay. Oops. Whoops. There we go. Now we're at the end. What I'm gonna do, even though I already have a poof here, I'm gonna go ahead and put this last one, open up the tie, put it in there, and then I'm gonna cut it off. Let's see what the scissors are. There. So now, here is how you start a standard work form wreath base for a DecoMesh wreath. Let me find my hanger so I can get it to be more eye level for me. See how it is really see-through? We're gonna go back through with ruffles to fill it up. Let me pick this up real quick. This is kind of a different wreath. I'm using orange ruffles. My garbage pile over there. So again, I have my cutting mat. I have got to get a new cutting mat. I think I'm gonna have to ask my husband for one for Christmas because can you see I have used it so much that I'm almost ready to go through the whole thing. Let me see how this side looks. Maybe I'll use this one. Maybe I'll use this side now. But you can just get these at any store, craft store, or even Walmart. You can get them. Then I also use my rotary cutter to cut each one. I cut them 12 inches. I'm just gonna do a couple just to give you an idea. I'm not gonna finish the whole thing. Like I said, I'm gonna come back later at a later time and actually finish the wreath with you once I get the bases done. I just want to give you an idea of how to get it started. So I measured out to 12 to 13 inches. And with these, I will make ruffles. I always do 2 12-inch ruffles into each tie. Like I said earlier, I'm sure some people wonder why I don't just do 24 inches into each tie. But I like the depth and the dimension. With DecoMesh wreaths, I think that they should be big and full. So I like to add them on top of each other. So I'll do a couple more. I'm not getting on the screen. Do a couple more. And this does not have to be precise at all. Just kind of close. You're going to have enough ribbon, more than likely a sign or something on it, a bow. So I'm just going to stop there for now. So what you do is you take your 12-inch piece of DecoMesh and you just go in the middle and you just pinch it all the way up. And you make like a little bow tie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here. I'm going to open up one of my ties. I'm going to place it right there. It doesn't have to be good and secure because I'm going to be coming back, adding another piece, and of course adding ribbon too. So you just take your piece of DecoMesh that you've cut, make a little bow tie, and add it right in there on top of your existing ruffle. So let's do a couple more of those. Your 12-inch piece of DecoMesh. Just pinch it up into the middle. Go into a tie. I'm trying not to get in front of you, but normally I have it going straight up and down, kind of at an angle right now. And my little easel's moving. And then you can just kind of place them how you want. A little bow tie. Open this up. Just like that. I'm going to do at least one up at the top just so you can see. You hit every single tie. You want to put a DecoMesh ruffle and ribbon into each one. There we go. So for this wreath, I'm going to be using orange and white polka dot, black and white polka dot, and I'm also going to be using a black and white striped, which I already have a couple cut from a previous project. So I don't have to cut any of that because like I said, I'm just going to do a couple just to kind of get you started. So with your ribbon, I always cut 12 inches as well. I'm going to cut off that folded piece. There we go. 70, 18, okay, awesome. So I cut each one at 12 inches. And then after I'm done cutting these, then I go and I dovetail them. Which means you take your ribbon, so I'm gonna take all 3 ribbons, put them together even, and then I'm gonna fold them where the wired sides are touching. I take my scissors and I go at an angle up. To dovetail them. So it just gives it a really nice finished look. Do it on this one as well. On my last video, I showed you this piece of cardboard. I just learned this recently. I can't believe after how many years of doing this that I did not know this. And there are products out there, just need to Google them to who sells them. This makes it a million times easier. So I got a piece of cardboard, I cut it 12 inches. And then I take my ribbon and I fold it. I fold it over and then I just wrap it around. Just wrap it around a couple times. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one now. And then all you do is just pull it off of the cardboard. So look, we already have 6 ribbon tails right there, that quick. This is a huge time saver, especially if you just are, you have a bunch of orders on a time crunch. So you take your ribbon, you fold it to the wire, oh, hold on. You fold it to the wired edges together, go from right about here, angled up, and now you have a nice pretty edge. It's dovetailed. So I'll go ahead and put in some of these for you all, and then I will finish up the bases. And then come back on and show you, and I'm gonna have to work with this because I'm not sure how I want it to look yet, so. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I want to place the ribbon, but I'm going to come back and do that later. I just want to show you how to do it. You can fold it in half and pinch it like this. Me, personally, I like to go ahead and just fan it out. Eyeball it, pinch it in half, and then you can put it into your wreath. So I go back, I open up one of my ties, put the ribbon in, and at this point you can tie it secure. And with these you can cut them off or you can kind of hide them. Right now I'm going to hide it just in case I want to add some more ribbon or change how I'm, the pattern, how I'm going to put them in. So there. You don't have to worry about fluffing them too much at this point because you are going to be adding more ribbon to it, adding a sign, you're going to be flipping it upside down to get the sign secured and things like that. So you can always go back at the end and fluff the ribbon back out a little bit more. So I'm going to take this, I didn't dovetail that one. Okay. Take your ribbon, fan it out a little bit, eyeball it, pinch it in the middle, and then all you have to do is add in, open up your tie and add in your ribbon. Secure your tie now. I'll do one last ribbon tail, and then I will get back with you all later on to show you how to finish it. Take your ribbon, fan it out a little bit, pinch it in half, open up your tie, and there you go. I think I need to bring that down a little bit. There. Okay, you all, so that just kind of gives you an idea of how to get started on two different kinds of wreath bases for a DecoMesh wreath. Like I said, my favorite is the Evergreen wreath, but you know, this is the standard one. I use this all the time. But anyway, hopefully you'll join me again. I would like to finish up the Christmas wreath here real soon because that is in order. And I'll be coming back with you later. Like I said earlier in the first video, I took today off to clean up my house and to clean up my supplies and try to get the house ready to start Christmas decorating and things like that. And I then decided to do a tutorial. So anyway, I hope that you all have a great day, and I will be getting back with you with part 3 on how to finish these up. So I will see you soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.